It's surprising that Venice is one of the oldest biennials, or is the oldest, and that it is really still possible that the presentation in the pavilions means such a lot to the artist, enormously to the artist and to the galleries and to the people who support this artist. Well, I mean, I was quite often there. As in former times, I had my gallery in the west of Austria, and so Venice was very near. So even in the 70s, I went there. It was small. It was easy to do it in 1 or 2 days, or even 1 day. It was mainly the pavilions, and it was, but it was very focused, very. Without all the surroundings, fashionable surroundings, or all the events you have now. And I think you went to the Biennale, looked really thoroughly at all the pavilions, and there was the whole day, or the whole time you were there, only discussion about art, about pavilions. And it was it was a total different time. We know that all 70s, it was there was not this commercial effect and event effect, or nobody wanted it to have it really big. It was all about art itself. Well, I know that the question about discovery always comes up when we speak about Venice. It's true, you can discover and you will discover, but I must say nowadays it's mainly in the Arsenale, or in the other exhibitions, or in the different locations in town or all over Venice, less in the pavilions, because the artists in the pavilions, to the professionals, and I think I am in the meantime a professional really, I have 40 years gallery, the artists are known to a certain extent. So discoveries are in these other places, I think. I think since many, many years, we are discussing this problem of national pavilions. And I see that this year it is a discussion about it, but as far as I know, again, the different countries have decided to place their national artists. And if you say there was a lot of migration, or some of the countries tried to open it up and not to make this national presence, nevertheless, it's always going back to the national pavilions. I think it's a big question, and I think it's old-fashioned. I have a big respect from the biennial and from Venice, and a big admiration for Venice, because I'm an art historian, and what we all had to do is to study the art history, which you find in Venice, which you find all over, and in combination, these are the roots we all have. And then you have this, have the biennial, and perhaps you're right, we behave something different, or somehow different, because we have this historical background and the beautiful city. And I mean, besides the biennial, you have Venice as an incredible cultural gift parallel to the biennial. But the biennial has established itself as the most important biennial. You have so many biennials besides. I was focusing in the past, especially on 2 biennials, Berlin and Istanbul. And I think these are very important biennales, because they operate on a total different level. When you speak about commercializing, it's less commercializing. You can really discover in the young field, especially in the young field. And that's what I think is very interesting. I also believe that Asian biennials, which I only study so far in the books, because I'm always in another time in Asia. I mean, I travel through the year a lot. And I think the Asian biennials will become more and more important, and we have all to go there. I hear about the biennial all over, I heard now, and how important it is. But sometimes I have the impression that it is more important even for artists who have not been there. Really very important artists, we know that they are great, really world artists who have never been in the biennial. This exists as well. And for them, even it means much more than for the younger. Sometimes, if I quickly think it over now, sometimes they have the younger artists have their presentation far too early. There are many examples. And so it is this mixture. Perhaps it's interesting what you also said before, this mixture between younger artists who get a pavilion, and then you have like Ed Rocher, somebody who would have earned it much, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago. So you have this very odd situation. I really think it's very important that the artist focus on perhaps developing a special project for Venice. I think I prefer that. Mm-hmm. Other installations you can find all over the world, and one of the specific things in Venice is that you have this developed projects thinking about the situation of the biennial, or about the political background or the cultural background integrated in the work presented. I always start with the pavilions, and I do, perhaps it's very old-fashioned, but I think then I have really, it is for me like a book. I start and I go through this book as much as I can read. That's very important for me, and I study it or as thoroughly as possible and go back later. Well, my home is Vienna, but somehow I travel such a lot. I have to take my home with me. That's my body with all my capacities. It goes in with knowledge, criticism, love, empathy, and so on and so on. This is perhaps a Buddhist, the Buddhist way, and I take this myself with all the works of the artists all around the globe, and so I must feel at home at many places. So that's my home. It's a very strange question. I think to think about one language or English, I hardly understand it, because I think the definition of human mankind has always been in different languages, even not only the spoken language, also the body language and other languages. And where would India be if there wouldn't be so many languages? And as I'm working a lot with India, everybody speaks English there. But if they want to express themselves, if they want really to show their own authenticity, they speak their language. So that's my answer to that. If the art community would be a nation, it would be a limitation. And regarding art and regarding my life, I'm against any limitation.